The most difficult cases of coccyx pain tend to be when the pain is caused by repetitive small traumas, such as with a bicyclist or a rower in a boat. These cases tend to be more difficult because if you don't address the repetitive traumas that are causing the pain, then there's a tendency for the pain to recur again and again. Sometimes there's an easy fix depending on the activity. For example, one activity that can lead to tailbone pain is someone who starts a new workout program that involves a lot of sit-ups. The sit-ups irritate the tailbone in this case, usually because of bad form with the sit-ups themselves. The bad form is usually due to a lack of education about the correct form on the one hand, and a weak core on the other. So in a situation like this, the core is first strengthened with other exercises, and then the person's sit-up form is corrected, and the problem is generally solved in this manner. But if you have a bicyclist who has great form, but the activity itself just happens to irritate that person's tailbone, then what do? The obvious fix would be to stop bicycling. But let's assume that the person doesn't want to do that because generally the person doesn't want to stop their activity, which is fair. So then what do? Well, of course, you first look at the person's form on the bicycle to see if that can be improved. You then also think about modifications that can be made to the equipment in order to unload the tailbone. How about a softer seat or a cutout for the tailbone? How about changing the height of the seat so you're sitting on it a little differently, for example? And finally, even though the offending activity may be bicycling or rowing a boat, consider using a doughnut cushion when you're not doing the offending activity. So, for example, use a doughnut in the car or at work or when you're watching television or YouTube at home. That is, even though the real underlying problem is in the boat or on the bike, to the extent that you aren't going to completely fix that part of the problem, it may be that if during the rest of that person's day the tailbone isn't stressed at all, then the repetitive stress on the tailbone in the boat or on the bike maybe won't be enough to cause the person a problem.